So I'm at a point in my career now where I'm going from behind the scenes, business, marketing operations, all of that fun stuff, and starting to slowly but surely share my insight on business and marketing. We are in a very unique stage in life where you have people my age, late 20s, early 30s, gaining these abilities to be able to operate in C-suite executive level roles because of the online age, or the digital age rather. So what I'm doing is I want to skip the BS advertiser talk. I want to be just really honest with you to a point where I'm literally in my pajamas. I have no makeup on. I'm a mom. This is the only time that I can fit in this content. So you're only going to get this real rawness from me on my channel, because I want you to see that business ownership is not always a suit and tie, and it's not always hustle culture and grind. I do think that that is one way to do it, but I also think that business is very energetic, and there are so many different ways that you can design your life with business and marketing that really fit who you are naturally. Welcome to my channel, where you are going to get nothing but unfiltered, raw reactions and all kinds of business content. Who am I? I am Ashley. I'm a fractional CMO. I've had 6 businesses now. I'm working on a few other projects that will likely develop into other businesses, and I am moving from behind the scenes. With that being said, make sure you have your water. That is something, you guys, I'm just gonna be really honest and human here. I struggle making sure that I get enough water. I don't always eat healthy. So if you're looking for somebody that looks perfect, acts perfect, yada, 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 this is not the channel for you. I aim to just be truly authentic in who I am right here and right now, and however that shifts and changes over time. But what I can always promise you is that you are going to get content and reactions and other pieces of creatives that are designed to help humanize business and market with soul. That is my main jam on this PB&J here. That was such a lame joke. I'm also in the middle of moving, so we're going to a whole other state. And yeah, this is just where I'm at. So let's get to it. What I want to do today is get on TikTok. I love looking at business content on TikTok, and I'm just going to do some very honest reactions. Some of these I really agree with, sometimes I don't agree with them, but I always give reasons for why. And then if you want any kind of free resources, check out my channel, check out the links that I have floating around, because that's where you'll find those. But I truly believe in showing a different way to do business that doesn't involve this perpetuated hustle culture or old money vibe. By old money, we don't mean old people, we mean old outdated systems and ways of doing business that don't work with everybody nowadays. So let's get into it. I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna be really honest too. I feel like I look like a wet dog, and that is gonna cause some confidence issues. But you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna show up, forget the confidence issues. Here we are. I am here to give you information and insight. That is what we're going for, so let's do it. You guys are going to love this one. Let's get into it. Kidding, because we're gonna have technical issues.
Do you want to become a billionaire, then you have to think like a billionaire. Billionaires do not think about pennies and cents and dollars. They think big, and they think of ways of getting there, not of ways of not getting there. Most people learn how to fail and not to succeed. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. When they developed Tesla, everybody thought, not a new idea. But they were persistent, they were convincing, and they could see something that most people did not see. The same thing with Google, the same thing with Apple. They were providing something that people were looking for, but they did not know how to put it together. So if you want to be a billionaire, you have to start thinking what will work, and not only what will fail. Billionaires look at their experience and say, this did not work, what can I learn from it? You have to change the way you think about it. Do you want to be?
All right, so I don't absolutely hate what he's saying here. Am I a Tesla guru? No. Am I a multi-billionaire? No. So I'm not gonna speak on the account of running large corporations or anything like that, but what I can tell you from a psychological perspective, my background obviously is in marketing and business, but more recently over the last few years, I've gotten into IO psychology. My only issue with this video is that it's posed out there as business content, but he's saying a lot of really nothing. So what does it mean to actually think big and not think of what's going to fail, but think of what's going to succeed and fix your mindset or change your mindset? This is the issue that I have personally, in my opinion, with the business influencer community, or with people who actually have achieved massive amounts of success. They don't always articulate it or make it digestible and accessible for everybody. So that's where my passion comes in, and that's exactly why we're here where we are right now. That's why time doing this is to take complicated information or information that's being gatekept and make it accessible and digestible. So what he's referring is compounded. It's actually multiple layers into a single concept that he's then reducing to a mindset. And there's a few things at play here. One of those could be considered niche hacking, which is just a really simple term to say that you find something that is needed, whether that be like foundational infrastructure, like it's never going to go away regardless of recession or depressions or anything. It's something that's absolutely needed and baked into the centerfold of a community or an economy. There are ways that you can make yourself niche. For example, transportation, semi-truck drivers that transport product from, place to place. That is a major part of infrastructure, and that's why when you see different forms of strikes or protests, a lot of times it involves some form of transportation. That could be, getting into a really niche type of field or business that then can grow rapidly, especially if you get into like government contracts or something like that. Another alternative, if you want to go on a smaller or a micro level or a micro scale, rather than just going for the billionaire route, is to just look in your community and see what kind of services are needed and then fulfill that service. So for example, where I live, there's not a lot of indoor play spaces really anywhere. I think we have 2 within 30 minutes from me, and that's not always super reasonable. But what I did was I opened an indoor playground, and it was wildly successful before I had issues with the landlord. That's a totally different story, but lessons learned there. It was successful just for the pure fact that there was a need for it and nobody else doing it. So what I've done over the last years with all of the brands that I've launched, the only reason, in my opinion, that I found success outside of being a lifetime careerist in marketing is the fact that I pick purposely things that were not being offered or provided in certain niche areas. So then there's virtually no competition. Now I bring that up because if we're really honest here, he's talking about companies like Tesla and Google. They did that. They came into the digital space, or what Tesla's doing with green energy and solar and all of that stuff. Again, not an expert there, but they are coming into an industry and providing a product or a service that is not heavily saturated. So Google did that many years ago in the digital space, although, side note, they have been found guilty of monopolizing, so be careful with that. But the reason that you can take off so fast or a little bit effortlessly is to create a niche or go into a niche where you don't have a lot of competition and be the solution, be the provider, be the product for those people who need it. So that's just my thought with this. I don't hate what he's saying. I just think that we need actionable items here, and what he's saying is true. But then what does that mean? And what that means is to provide a solution or a service or a product that meets people where they are, that's not heavily saturated, and really believe in your dream. Understand marketing, understand the energetic role of relationships and building a solid team that's motivated and inspired to work with you, and make your dream a reality. You can do it today. It might seem like everything is done, but I can come up with a list of 10, 20 businesses, I did it just last month, that could be wildly successful on a local scale and also on a national scale. So just something to think about. Let's get into the next one. Okay, let's get into it.
Top 5 most profitable businesses to start in 2025. Or you want to hustle and start one right now? Let's go. Number 5, a digital agency. A lot of companies outsource their social media and their digital advertising. It's more efficient for them to focus on the business and have somebody else do it. The global industry revenue for 2023, $389 billion. Number 4, bookkeeping and accounting for the gig workers. With the rise of the gig economy, you have a lot of freelancers. You have the opportunity to niche down for the sector. Net profit margin, 18.4%. Number 3, online courses. Now I know people have feelings about this category, but they have such big profit margins, I can't leave it off the list. The majority of your time and investment is front-loaded. So you build out your course. Once the course is built, you can sell that course for years after. No inventory, profit margin through the roof. Number 2, drop shipping. Now this one also has somewhat of a bad rep, but I think this is a great opportunity. You create the brand, you market it, someone else manages and distributes the inventory. The expected growth for this sector, 20% by 2028. But with Amazon's current partnership with TikTok, I actually think the growth here could be much more significant. And number 1 is e-commerce. I know that's broad. This is any business where your product is sold online. They're easy to launch and don't take a ton of upfront capital investment, and it's considered one of the most profitable industries. Now, as a dad, what I'm most likely going to do, I'm going to create an e-commerce business with my kids to show them how business is operated. And because the capital investment is low, I think it'll be worth every penny. The top.
I just want to make sure that we're giving the creator here credit. Mikey Taylor. Gonna do a reaction video. For the record too, once I get established in my new residence in a whole different state and I get my studio going and my recording going, this is going to get a whole lot less awkward. So just bear with me here. I really like this video for a few reasons. All of it is online based, which is great. Not the only way to do it. I have lots of experience with online businesses, and I did have my brick and mortar business, which is again an entirely different story. But I just wanted to run through these really quick. I have a digital agency. These are really great. I want to talk pros and cons for each of these, so let's do it. Okay, let me get less awkward. Maybe I need a little bit of water. Let me just drink some of my water real quick. Be right back. Okay, if you can't tell that this is not scripted or thought out in any way, wow. Anyways, so I have a digital agency. I do fractional CMO work. I also have a social media agency that I'm launching, and I will be moving to Austin, Texas, which is where I will be launching that specific hub, but I'm actually doing something very unique with it. I can't publicly do it yet, but you will see plenty of that on this channel, I promise. So, digital agency, these are really great businesses to have. It is really noisy in the online space. Small business owners especially, and even big businesses that I've realized working in so many agencies myself, they get overwhelmed researching which agencies to use because agencies are really good at marketing themselves. And so what ends up happening is if you look for agencies to represent your brand or work with you, you have hundreds of thousands of options to choose from. And then it becomes really difficult with, it's very easy to find some of these massive brands and try to find their agency. Sometimes that's out of your price range, yada, yada, I get it. The problem with a digital agency is that you cannot guarantee the quality of intuitive services that are being offered. So there's a certain set of standards, right? There's different procedures and standards that are set in the marketing industry, but Jerry over here might be really intuitive with his clients. He might be able to just hone in on their messaging, know exactly what they need. Whereas, I don't know, Sarah, sorry, don't want to be offensive if that's anybody's name here, but let's say Sarah is kind of more by the book, maybe isn't as intuitive. She's good at her job, but she doesn't really connect with the customers or the clients in a certain way. So there's differences in the quality of service that's being offered, and that can be a headache for agency owners who maybe want a lot of control over what their service looks like for clients. This is why you have a lot of agencies that don't really scale or become massive, and maybe they have a small team that they work with and they find it hard to scale. For the ones that do become massive and scale really well, if they have a great company culture and they have a great internal operations system, which I always harp on, then they're probably going to be okay. But I personally have worked with agencies who did not have those things in place, and the work culture is awful. The clients are getting ripped off left and right because everybody is overworked and overtired. And what happens when you're overworked? You don't really have the quality of life that you probably need as a human. You're always on the computer, clicking. Now you're driving out of your brain what you need to be creative. You're tapping into the parts of your brain all day long. So when you need to be creative or strategic, or you need to be present for your clients, you're really just burned the fuck out. And that's the reality that a lot of our agencies are facing right now. That is also the reality why so many businesses have a bad taste in their mouth about agencies. I don't want to spend too much time on agencies, but that's my bit on them. Accounting and bookkeeping for gig work. Love this because I come from that economy. I have been contract working for the decade of my career now. I've been in marketing for 12 years and in the gig economy on and off over the course of that entire time. So I personally love this because, man, finances and taxes, they've just gotten strange lately. And there's starting to be some regulation around taxes and how things are claimed, especially regarding the gig work economy. So he's absolutely right. This is a great niche to get into, because if you're an accounting or bookkeeping service that focuses specifically on the regulations and the laws and the things that are being put in place for the gig work economy, now you really can position yourself as a niche service and provide the quality that they really need and the protection that they really need, or preventative protection. Online courses. I also have an online course. Yes, if you have an online course, it's a great opportunity to maximize your ROI because you don't have inventory, you don't have a team that has to fulfill anything, you don't have shipping. So online courses are an amazing way to gain revenue. A couple of things with this though, 3 things in particular. One, they work really, really great when you have a large following or a dedicated loyal following that are absolutely interested in your content and the information that you have to share, or you become positioned as an authority figure, you become viral for your content. That's another great way to get sales for an online course. But the problem with online courses is once somebody buys your course, you can't resell them that same course. So that means in order to continue making revenue off of that course, you have to continue selling that course to new people, which means that you have to invest and position yourself in front of new audiences and new prospects constantly. Now, the only way to kind of get around this, what a lot of digital creators do is they'll create a membership type of subscription so that they get additional services, maybe a discount on the online course, you have a membership, or vice versa, or they'll cross-sell into things like books, other digital assets, other courses, other communities. So there's a lot of cross-selling that happens in the digital space. This is really great, again, if you become viral for the content that you provide or if you have a dedicated loyal following. Okay. I just had to take a breather because I was literally out of breath. I had so much spaghetti tonight that I just can't breathe. I can't breathe. Okay. Let's get back to it. Drop shipping. I currently don't want to brag, but I do have a drop shipping business that was done with the help of my lovely assistant that I have, who's also editing this video. Hi, Maria. And what I will say about drop shipping in general, I've been around e-commerce drop shipping businesses for several years now in the digital marketing space, but this is the first time that I've actually had a drop shipping business of my own, getting into some e-commerce of my own. And I do that on purpose because I want to put myself literally in the position of this type of business ownership so that I can understand it better from a marketing perspective. If I can understand everything that's going on the business side, then I'm able to better position it as a marketer. Anyways, that's a long way of just saying that I like to learn by experience, okay? So drop shipping, what I'm realizing, if I get my wet dog here under control, what I have learned about the drop shipping is yes, somebody is managing the fulfillment and the inventory for you. No, you don't always get control over how it's fulfilled or how it's sent to your customers. So if you really take pride in really cutesy packaging that's, you know, hand packaged and beautifully done for each customer, there's no guarantee that that's actually going to be the case for your products. There's been multiple times where orders go through the shop and we're contacted about, oh my gosh, am I having a brain fart this late? So welcome to my mommy brain. They're about the inventory not being available. That's what I was trying to say. So there's been messages that come in about the inventory not being available. And that's an issue because now somebody's purchasing and they're not going to get the one that they purchased. Like that could set you up for some trauma for your business. E-commerce, I have worked many a years with e-commerce clients. I have one right now that I absolutely adore. E-commerce, we love it. However, some things to consider here are the amount of money you have to pay for fulfillment and inventory and all of that, not to even take into consideration wasted inventory that becomes broken or destroyed, or inventory that sits there and doesn't even get used. So e-commerce is really great if you have a product that you can sell on a monthly basis, which means it has a shorter life cycle and you can constantly remarket to your current customers, which is great on top of new customers. Or if there's different SKUs or different items that you can kind of cross-sell and upsell into, but keeping it really simple is going to be your best friend for this type of business. Okay, moving on. I'm only going to play this one because it literally covers exactly what I just said. I'm so happy we came across it. Let's play. Play, please. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, what I wanted to say about this is that this is an e-commerce brand. Let me just pull in RxThism. To be honest, I don't know this product. Don't drop a Okay. What I wanted to say about this is from what she's showing, she has an e-commerce business. It looked like it was just a select few of SKUs or just a select few of items that she was selling that probably went viral on social media because that happens in today's age. So she's getting a lot of sales. But the thing I also noticed about this oil is that it probably has a short lifetime value, which means that they'll be coming back every single month or however long that life cycle is to repurchase this, as long as the product is actually high quality and you're developing great customer relationships and nurturing them in the right way. So this is exactly what I was talking about with e-commerce. By keeping it really simple and high quality and investing in the relationships with your customers, she's now gone all over the nation and done over 400,000 in sales. She had billboards and advertisements. Now we're in a really great position. If this was my business, how I would do it is I would go ahead and position to go get into retail. Then with all of that success, you have a leg to stand on to actually get into some of these retail locations like Sephora and yada yada. You guys know the deal. Just wanted to share that. Love it. Okay, I had to share this one because I love marketing psychology. Let's get into it.
Learn how to sell anything to anyone. Use the coffee shop marketing strategy. The decoy strategy will make the small and medium option appear overpriced, therefore making the large look like the best deal. Second, use psychology for marketing. Instead of selling one bag and one watch for $49.99, say, buy a bag and get a free watch. Lastly, branding is everything. This is a great way of making people feel better paying 5 times more for the same product. Use this amazing tactics to 3x your sales. Check it out and follow for more value.
All right. Okay, so let's get into this. The thing with the online space is that most consumers are probably going to come into contact with content like this at some point in their lives. So the general population that doesn't do business or marketing and they're just strictly consumers of products and services, they're starting to understand this. They're starting to catch on. And this is actually a large part of what I want my master's study to be in, or rather like the studies I want to do. My master's is in IO psychology. My bachelor's is in communications and marketing, plus the 12 years that I've had in marketing and the 6 businesses that I have launched and started from literally the ground up. All of that to say that yes, these things do work. Psychology is real, but we're starting to see a shift in the business and marketing industry, and even in general with society, people are becoming really cumbersome. Like they're becoming tired of some of the marketing techniques and the business techniques that are out there to get them to purchase. So what is that doing? You have probably seen this firsthand, where the industry is just becoming louder and louder. The ads are becoming more frequent. Now you can't even visit an online platform without seeing advertisements because that's how they've monetized their platform to make money. And so we're in this really weird cycle where I am personally starting to see a shift in the way consumers are behaving. I'm starting to see, on top of economic factors, they're not so quick to make purchasing decisions, especially when it's luxury items, like anything product related that's not like a basic necessity, or service related that's not a basic necessity. When I say basic necessities, I'm talking about like hygiene, food, shelter, things like that. If you're not selling something that's absolutely needed, then it could be considered like a luxury item for that person. Those types of buyers, where they're a little bit more hesitant, are starting to pay more attention to what companies are doing and the marketing tactics they're using to get the sale. So all of that to say that it's probably not going to stop working entirely, but we're going to see a shift because of how the business and marketing industry is growing and evolving. We're going to start to see a shift in the psychology of consumers. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that, especially now with the generations that we have up and coming that have been their entire lives in the digital space. This is why we're seeing businesses change so rapidly, people leaving the workforce to do their own stuff, and that's because it's absolutely reality in the digital space we have today. Yeah. All right, what an amazing, that's actually totally biased. Hopefully you liked this video. If you didn't, I'll keep trying. I'll keep posting more videos. If you go to my website, www.ashley-speaks.com, let me just pull that down right here so you can see, whoop, right there, right here, along with everything else that I have tabbed up there. Welcome to it. No. You are seeing in real time my struggle with technology right now. Okay, if you go to my website, you can read all about shifting your mindset around business and marketing, different blog articles that I have coming out, more about my fractional CMO stuff. My goal here is to humanize business and make marketing accessible. So we're just gonna really get simple here. I found that just talking to myself is a little bit boring, but if we do reaction videos like this and just look at other content, it helps open up the conversation about business and marketing. Now, I'm not always gonna look like a furry dog on here. That's just tonight because we're in the process of moving and because I'm a mom with kids, but the information is still important. So I wanted to make sure that I'm committed to showing up. And if you love content like this, the best way to let me know so that we can continue doing this is to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will continue to create content like this. Until next time, check the description for all of my important information that I can't remember right now off of the top of my head. Bye.